How to stop running out of things to say in conversations. I'm just going to give it to you straight in this video. I'm not going to give you any gimmicks. You've probably seen other videos saying, oh, just rehearse this line or ask them questions about their occupation or their family, just all of these generic topics, which actually aren't doing you any favors. Because believe it or not, the more you rehearse, the more you try and control where this conversation is going, the more stressed out and unable to think you become. So this used to be my problem. I'd go into conversations and instead of just focusing on the other person and listening and being present, I'd kind of be brainstorming like the next 3 steps or the next 3 topics that I could take this conversation in, because I was just so deathly afraid of this conversation reaching like a lull or an awkward silence. I'd rush my words out because I'd just be afraid of like any pause in this conversation. And the thing I'm about to teach you in this video is going to help your conversations feel like they're actually flowing. You're not stressed out, you're not randomly jumping from one topic to the next. It doesn't feel forced, it feels natural and effortless. And most importantly, fun. Like, what's the point of even getting into a conversation if it's just all stress, if it's not even enjoyable for both of us? Because if it's not enjoyable for you, that nervous tension will rub off on the other person. And even if they don't know why, they will start to feel that. So the first thing I want to tell you is that most people actually have a ton of natural wit and humor and charisma that they can bring out in conversations, but most people will never see that. And the reason is, our natural personality can only begin to come out once we're feeling safe. So I want you to think back to the last great conversation you had with your boys or your friends, people that you trust. Like, think about how opposite it was to maybe you talking to someone you deem like higher social status than you, like a girl or someone you were trying to impress. With your friends, you're not panicking about what to say next. You're not like, where am I going to take this conversation? That probably wasn't even a conscious thought in your brain. Like, that wasn't even something that crossed your mind. The conversation was just flowing. You might have been talking to this person for like 2 hours, but it felt like 20 minutes. Because that's how much fun you were having. You were unfiltered. When I'm with my friends, I make the most childish jokes, but because we have that bond, it doesn't really matter what I say. Like, I know I'm not going to be judged if I say something dumb in front of them. We have that bond. Like, the most juvenile, childish things become funny. And that comes down to a feeling of safety. Not just like, I'm not just saying it, like a biological feeling of safety in my nervous system. There's certain situations, certain people that trigger a survival response in our nervous system. So again, people who you might deem to be more important than you, a boss or authority figure, maybe even a girl, maybe someone you're interested in. They trigger this survival fight or flight response in us sometimes. And the reason for that is sometimes unclear. Sometimes it's tied to the past. For me, I have a lot of triggers around certain people who remind me of it could be people from the past who bullied me in school, or it could be I could be thinking back to a girl who rejected me when I was a teenager. It could be anything, but recognize that there's lots of triggers in the modern day that kind of tie back to this past fear that we have. And your nervous system is trying to protect you. Remember, that's its ultimate function, is to protect you. It's to keep you alive, to protect you from emotional and physical harm. If you had a really negative experience in the past with this type of person, then it's only natural that it will start putting your body into anxious fight or flight survival mode around this new person. So again, I used to get this a lot around people I was interested in. I start getting a little bit flustered. My brain would get all foggy, tense and anxious in my body. And I kind of just fumble it and just make a bit of a fool of myself because I'm not even present. I'm too focused on like the next 10 topics and where I'm going to take the conversation rather than being present and focusing on the here and now. And a lot of people think they're just bad at social skills, or they're just a boring person, or they're awkward, this, and this. But what they don't understand is when you're in survival mode, your nervous system does not care about how you're coming across. It does not care about you being funny or charming or interesting. Survival mode is about nothing else but getting out of that situation, getting out of like this perceived danger. Like if your body believes it's about to die, then the only thing it can really focus on is just getting out of there. It's not focusing on like your humor, your expression, your creativity, like the parts of your brain responsible for thinking of what to say next, just go out the window. So this is what I mean. It's like so many of these videos get this wrong. They're focused on teaching you techniques like, oh, if you forget what to say, bring this up. Bro, that's not going to help with the core problem, because the core problem is you're like traumatized on some level. You just don't feel safe around this person. It's bringing something up from the past, and that's making it like 10 times harder to even think. So what we need to do is take ourselves out of that survival mode state, out of fight or flight, to restore this feeling of safety. So this is when I want to talk about an idea that I like to call play mode. So again, I told you that only when we feel safe does our natural personality start to come out. Like when we're not feeling safe, we can easily come across as boring or awkward or all these things because our personality is literally being suppressed because we don't feel comfortable sharing it. Around our friends, around those people we trust, we could be like a loud, like energetic, quite unique person. But when we're like in survival mode, no one ever sees that side of us. So in play mode is it's feeling safe enough to relax, express your natural personality, and almost just like let it come through. Like this happens. This is not something you like consciously do. Like once you're feeling safe, it happens automatically. Your confidence comes back, your humor comes back, your like natural wit and charm. Like sometimes I find myself like, bro, I'm not trying to gas myself up here. Sometimes when I'm like in this state of mind, I catch myself and I'm saying things and I'm like, how did I think of that? Like that was just so like intelligent and charming. How did I just think of that on the fly? That is what play mode will do. That is just the feeling of like feeling safe in your environment. Everything else follows as a natural byproduct of feeling safe. So it's things like knowing that nothing bad is going to happen to you if you just like said this thing. If you said this just like dumb thing to make yourself laugh, nothing bad is going to happen because at the end of the day, you're having fun. Like the point of play mode is almost to entertain yourself. You're coming with this like playful, natural energy. You're not worried about impressing anyone else. All you care about is impressing yourself. I feel like I'm like missed a few steps out here. Essentially, yeah, play mode is the thing we're trying to reach, that relaxed, natural state where we're feeling safe. And there is lots of ways to become safe, like we can do meditation and things, but I'm teaching you this concept because you can just pull it out at any time, in the middle of a conversation. And the way we reach play mode, where everything just flows, we're not worried about thinking of what to say next because it just comes to us. It sounds crazy, and it is a skill, but it just comes to us. The one way we can cue ourselves into that is stop focusing on entertaining the other person. Right now, we're probably thinking like, okay, how can we entertain them? What questions can we ask? What topics could we bring up which are gonna entertain them, ensure they're having fun whilst talking to me? That seems to be the ultimate goal. I want you to ditch all of that and just think about like in this moment right now, in this conversation, how could I start enjoying myself more? What would that look like for me? Would it be like intentionally pushing the conversation in this direction towards something I know that I'm passionate about, that I can talk about? Would it be making this dumb joke, this thought that just came into my head that sounds a little bit stupid, but I'm going to say it anyway because I think it's funny? It's as simple as that. Start focusing on entertaining yourself. And the craziest part is, once I started doing this, I realized so quickly that if I try and make myself laugh, other people will laugh too. Like, how crazy is that? It's because your internal state ends up projecting onto everyone else. If your ultimate goal is to just be there, make this a fun conversation, have a fun time in general, you're projecting that like abundant, giving energy. Like I'm enjoying myself, whether you're here or not. Not in like an offensive way, but like I can live. I don't need other people to have fun. I'm not so insecure that I need to be entertaining you the whole time. I'm having a good time talking about what I want to talk about. I'm making the jokes that are unique to me and my sense of humor, and you're just here for the ride. As long as you're having fun, I honestly feel like nothing can faze you. Like, I've been rejected. I've had people be rude to me when I'm in this kind of mood, and it just rolls right off me. I just roll with the punches. And taking it back to the core subject of just like not running out of things to say. This is such a powerful idea when it comes to that in particular, because it's just like, it's not that you're going to always know what to say, but it's like it feels right. The things you're saying just feel right. You're not forcing anything. You're not trying to impress or get people to laugh. Your natural dialogue is just returning. And this is a skill. Like, this will take some time. But honestly, if you can just focus on that one prompt, start trying to entertain yourself instead of them. The world is here for my entertainment. I'm going to laugh and enjoy it. Even if you like tap into this play mode state like 10%, that is powerful. That is powerful. Start focusing on what you find enjoyable and funny, and watch your natural dialogue return. Watch yourself never worry about what to say next. Like, that's not even a conscious thought in your brain. That is how this differs from all of these other videos about like techniques. Take care, man. See you in the next one.